A while ago, we talked about the Genshin Impact community and talked about how bad they are as a, collective group of people. Because they are. They are really kind of bad. And it's not great. Honestly, they rival the MHA Smash community and pretty much every other bad community that exists out there. But to be perfectly honest, that still doesn't have any effect on how I like about what I like about the game. Though the game, it's good. I like the game. Still one of my top 5 favorite games that I ever got to play. However, in saying that though, the game isn't all of that great either. Now, just for the record, I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't hate China. I don't. I think China's pretty cool with their traditions and how they are within the people are there, and some of the people that are there. Definitely, one day, I even as a kid when I first heard about what China was, I was like, oh, that sounds like a great time. I would like to go over there one day. Probably won't do it though, considering how crazy it is now. But you know, I do like what it is. But the only thing I don't like is the government. Screw that government. They're pretty much making people do stuff that they don't really want to do, and censoring stuff that really shouldn't be censored. The Chinese government kind of sucks, let's be honest. But that doesn't mean that everything about that place is horrible, obviously. Every place has their horrible group of people and horrible things that they don't like about that place. Even Japan doesn't have great things all the time when it comes to what they do. But, they're nice. But I do like Japan at the end of the day. But let's not get off topic here. But today, I really want to talk about Genshin Impact and why people are really not playing the game as they used to be. A lot of people that you've seen in the first year that played the game isn't really there anymore, and it's unfortunate because, things change, and the community probably had a hand in it too, most likely. But mostly, the game just doesn't feel fun to play in a weird way. Granted, they do try to add, not granted on Mihoyo's behalf, they do try to add stuff to make it seem a bit fun. You got your events, you got your nice lantern right, and you got, some new outfits and costumes. That's fine. Got some new characters too. That's cool as well. Definitely can't wait to see the Gensai material that's made on them. But when it comes down to it, a lot of the time, it just doesn't feel like a really big incentive to play the game, honestly. And that's with a lot of that story, and that's with a lot of the story missions. Personally, for me, I like story. I like to see what's gonna happen next in the major grand scheme of things. But when it comes to stories and when it comes to Genshin, a lot of the time you don't really get major story stuff. You don't really get that. You just get stuff with new characters, and while that's cool, I would like to see more things that has to relate to the traveler and what they have to deal with, because I want to see her journey and what she has to do to get her brother back. And that's just how I feel about things. Also, for people that don't know, yes, I do have Lamine as my traveler. I have a heroin addiction. I do like my main heroines. So definitely, it's not... So definitely, I would like to see more stuff with Lamine. That's just me though. And that's kind of the reason why I haven't really used any other person outside of the Traveler really. Is because I like the Traveler. I want to see more with the Traveler. But we don't get stuff with the Traveler like that. Except for story missions that really does not matter and does not play in the grand scheme of, finding our brother. That's kind of the thing here. So definitely, while I do think the characters are cool, and while I do like the designs and the inspiration of where they came from, a lot of the time I just don't really care about all that. I just want to see what the story does. The last truthful update we had that has to do with the Traveler and the story that, has to progress the world is, when we found our brother being the leader of the Abyss. And that's pretty much it. Really haven't had anything other than that. I mean, you could say the art conquest, but at the same time, the art conquest really doesn't matter. I mean, it was cool. Granted, I like the art conquest that we last had, but at the same time, it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, because what does they have to do to Abyss? What do they have to do with the Abyss? What did they have to do with, the Gnosis? Well, it has something to do with Gnosis, but it didn't really feel like the Gnosis was that major, honestly. So that's another thing. Really, I just want to see more stuff when it comes to story, and not just personally for me. You can throw out characters and stuff all day, that's fine, but I would like to see more of a story progression, really, and not just like, oh, new land, who's this, and all that type of stuff. While it's cool, and I really hope what's it called, Inkanomiya, I really hope Enkanomiya be a really cool place because it looks really damn nice, and I hope it stay mysterious and be really mysterious, one of the most mysterious places in the game. I really hope that is going to be the case, but I just want to see more story progression, and this is just for me personally. Maybe you don't want to see more story progression, maybe you just want to do some more stuff in the game, which honestly, they're tossing a lot at you with this game, honestly. With a lot of these events, I haven't even really played too much of because I just haven't either not been interested in, or there's just a lot of events going on at the same time, and that's just a lot of stuff going on. So, and that's also another thing too. Even the hangout, really, even with the hangout friendship quest, I haven't really finished any of them really, except for the first few, because I just didn't have any interest into finishing them. Noelle had a few good ones, and I finished hers, except for the last couple of few tasks I had to do in there. But really, it just doesn't feel like any type of incentive of wanting me to complete it, even with primo gems on the line. And yes, I could use those primo gems because, you know, there's some characters I would like to pull, especially when that next banner hits. But definitely, I just don't feel like doing any of it because I don't really feel engaged into the story, and I don't really feel engaged into the world either, even though it does have some cool aspects about it. I want Genshin to do good. I really do. I think they had the potential to be one of the best mobile games that really could exist for all of time. But the main big problem is just that the story is not hidden for me right now, and it's kind of just hasn't done anything really. It just doesn't feel like anything I personally care for. Maybe make a new weapon class, maybe use like actually your hands and feet for like fist combat and martial arts combat. China does have martial arts in combat in that type of way. Why not make a class dedicated to solely just that instead of using a weapon? That would be fine as well. But you know, we don't get that. A new weapon class will honestly make me want to play the game a little bit more than. But you know, we kind of get the same stuff with the same people, and then you know, some elements kind of just don't hit hard as the other ones, and that's just, you know, I guess down to personal preference really. But mainly the whole entire thing comes down to I just want to see story and progression of Lamine's path and how a thing goes from here on out, instead of just dealing with another character that I'm probably going to forget about over a, you know, couple of days. And that's just how I feel. Even with because the new character I got was Goro from the Arataki Ito banner, and I really don't care for leveling up Goro, honestly, even though he looks cool. Same way with Diluc. I don't care about leveling up Diluc, mainly because he's an asshole, but I don't care for leveling up Diluc like that, mainly because I just don't really care. I don't have any major incentive, and sometimes it can be the player's fault, but there's a good bit of the time that it's the game's fault too. Granted, I understand Mihoyo is going through a lot right now, considering the fact that China is literally trying to, you know, kill any type of fun that they can have in that country, which is why you hear about a lot of stuff when it comes to Mihoyo trying to move to Singapore, which, please move to Singapore. My goodness, y'all need to get out. But at the same time, I just really feel like they need to find some way to keep their game fresh and interesting, in my personal way, in some type of way. They can do it, there's a possible way to do it, but I just don't know how. Even with me exploring Inazuma in this new places, I just feel like the game is just missing something, and I'm hoping that this new place that we get to explore underneath Song and Amiya's place will be something that, you know, I will be vibing with, something that I will be absolutely fine to explore and like to come back to and explore. Honestly, I just hope we get, and as far as the story goes in places really, I hope we get more questions and more things going on, because yes, we know Teyvat is a fake, well, the sky of Teyvat is fake, or whatever the hell that Scaramouche said, and then pretty much we know that there's a lot of questions going on, but can we see some answers, or at least get more questions on top of those answers? Like, we need something. Like, I would like to see why the sky is fake, or what is going on, but you know, we don't get any of that, except we get another event that does not really matter for the most minimum amount of primo gems for the entire time. You know, it just doesn't hit as hard as it did back in the early days of the first year. It just don't feel like it anymore, and it really sucks. So really, I just hope that we get more stuff. Well, I don't really hope we don't. I don't really mind if we get more stuff to do, but I just want stuff that matters. I guess that really comes down to what the story is and where we're gonna go for, here on out. And I know a lot of people might be thinking, oh, then let's see some character deaths. You don't have to kill a character to make things interesting, even though that would be kind of crazy if that happened. But and I would like to see something close to happening like that, but not fully yet. But still, we just need something that's gonna be like a little shocking, even if it's a complete 180 on something. Just completely throw us off the loop of what we knew about the game and how we felt about the game. Just completely shake the foundation of what Genshin is at its core and change it up. That's pretty much all I could ever ask for, and maybe that'll be enough to keep me entertained. For now, I'm still gonna play the game. I'm still playing it a lot, but I'm not really caring for doing the daily commissions or doing a lot of the other stuff that I usually do in the game, because it just doesn't hit as hard. Unfortunately, it doesn't. I like the inspiration of what it is. I like how it is, but it just needs something extra. And I feel like Mihoyo is holding back on Genshin, and it just really needs to let it just cut loose, I guess. But yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about for this one. So hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification on your way out. Also, follow me on Twitter, TikTok, and like to donate to the channel. Patreon and Ko-Fi is available as well. And until then, it's your boy Jay, signing off. Have a blessed day.